everyone, it's Shel C from PaperOcotilloStudio, and today I'm sharing with you another artist trading card video. This is a speed up of what I did on the Art Joy of Sharing live stream channel today. And it's nighttime now, so it's almost tomorrow, so you probably will see it tomorrow, but I am traveling and on the road, and I just didn't have a chance to edit until now. So over in the Art Joy of Sharing art community on Facebook, we are having this month-long challenge called hashtag ATCAD 2021 Artist Trading Card a Day. And it is a challenge to encourage you to develop a daily art practice or daily creativity that is good for your heart and your soul and your mind. And these little artist trading cards are 2.5 by 3.5 inches, so it's something you can do fairly quickly. Today I am doing them with collage mostly, although I do add some other stuff. So this first one was already a background. It's a gel print on black cardstock. And I tore up a little piece of map that was kind of the same Tiffany blue light teal color as some of the background, and I glued that down with my Yoo-hoo glue stick. And then I had a little graphic from a magazine that I had torn out, and it was the solar system, starting with the sun, and then just giving you an idea of all the different the planets that orbit the sun. And so I thought that would be kind of fun because SpaceX was taking off, and so Elon Musk and his brother are getting a ride into outer space for a ridiculous amount of money, and I just thought it would be fun to do something space themed. So I also have an ink pad and some stamps. However, I forgot in my travel kit to include any acrylic blocks, so I just used my plastic scraper that I brought along as a tool to scrape paint and things, and smooth things down. And I just put my little silicone stamp onto that, and it worked fine. I used a couple different stamps that are concentric circles, which seemed appropriate with the theme. And then now I'm just adding some Neocolor 2 water-soluble crayons and blending that with a water tank brush. And I added some lavender, some of that same teal turquoisey color and a light color and some yellow. And I was pretty happy with that after it was blended, but then I decided what it really needed was some orange. So I think I finished it off with some orange because it just didn't seem... There was orange in the little magazine graphic. So you can see how something can be built really quickly. I just had some words that were on something that I think was maybe a kit that comes from like Michael's or something for doing, what are those, you know, the calendar where you do the art in it. Why is this not coming to me? It's pretty late and I'm pretty tired, but someone sent me little things that were printed, and this was one thing that said ready for takeoff, and I thought that was perfect. So in the background, you can see a little bit of the Atlantic Ocean map, planets, the whole thing. So I finished it off with some splatters, and I've got ink around the edges, and I did pump up the black on that stamping by using a Posca pen because I didn't think the stamping was dark enough. I often think the stamping's not dark enough, and I tend to go over it with my pen sometimes. White splatters, a little bit more blending with some of that orange color, and this one was done. This was number 16, which is actually yesterday's, but I was driving in the car yesterday, so I didn't have a chance. So there you go, dedicated to SpaceX, going up into space. Pretty fun. So the next card I started with just a plain white background. I decided to do some collage, messing around with some different papers that I had grabbed and put in my little travel kit. And I have some matte medium and a distress collage brush. This piece of paper is newsprint, and at some point it was under paper, you know, just like the paper that you can see there. Those are deli papers that are just protecting the desk in my hotel room where I was live streaming this at some point. And now I'm doing the editing in my hotel room. It's kind of weird. You have to think about every little thing that you might need, and I did forget some things, like a heat tool. If you can believe that, I forgot my heat tool, so I can't quickly dry my projects for the next month as I'm traveling. I just have to be patient and let them dry. Maybe it was the whole lesson that the universe is giving me in trying to be patient, which, you know, I'm so impatient with stuff like this. So no quick drying, just have to let it dry. So I glued down some different papers that I had, oranges, yellows. A couple of them were kind of a scrapbook paper of some sort. And now I have a piece of stamped tissue paper. This is permanent black ink stamped on just regular old tissue paper that you might wrap things in inside a package or something like that. Plain tissue paper stamped with permanent ink. And I used my water brush to kind of cut it out so that I just had a close but very fluffy deckled edge. And then I just glued that down with some decoupage matte medium, fluid matte medium. I like to use fluid matte medium when I am gluing something thin, like a napkin or tissue paper. And then the rest of the time, I prefer a gel medium. And that's what you saw me using with my Distress Collage brush to glue down all the other papers. So then I got a little bit of acrylic paint, some white, some Naples yellow, and I'm just blending out some of the edges, you know, the paper edges. Sometimes it's fun to just finger paint over the top of them and get them a little bit blendy so that it doesn't really look like it's a bunch of different stuff stuck on there. I wanted to make some drips because drips are cool, especially when you're using a graphic like a spray can, like graffiti. I also glued a heart on there that was from some other project that I found in my papers and threw into my bag. But I used blue acrylic paint and tried to get it really watery with my water brush, and then let it drip down and across that heart, and I think that looks really cool. My finishing touch was to add a little bit of rub-on. This is, I think it's a Ranger one. I found those too when I was cleaning my studio. Like, wow, here's some rub-ons. I knew I had some, didn't know where they were. Oh, I guess I got distracted and decided to glue the back on my first card while I was waiting for that other one to dry. Like I said, I didn't bring a heat tool, and so I can't speed dry it, so I need it to be a little bit more dry before I put the rub-on on. And I was planning on doing 3 cards yesterday, today, and tomorrow, so I wrote my numbers and date on my little things while I was waiting around. So now I got my Stabilo All pencil, which is, you know, that highly water reactive black pencil that we all love, and added a little bit of black around the heart and across that horizon line at the bottom to bring in black, because of course that spray can graphic is really darkly black. And then I colored in with a little bit of orange and pink. I colored the can, and those are Stabilo Woodies that I was using, something that I had in my case. And then I need to put my little rub-on on, so I'm cutting it out from the background because I just like to do it that way rather than trying to use the whole sheet. I may not get the right thing stuck down, but I might get something stuck down that I didn't want. So I like to just cut them out, peel the plastic off the top, lay it down, and then press it with something like a bone folder to make it adhere. And that worked perfectly. So it says limited edition. I was just thinking about graffiti art, and I put a few little black splatters with my Posca pen and a little bit of glitter. Oh, I guess I did add a little bit more color with my Woody pencil in red. I guess I thought it needed a little bit more punchy color. I don't know. And ended up blending my acrylic paint pen, my Posca pen paint a little bit. So I just let it be more grungy, and I kept blending it and blotting it a little bit. No big deal. Then I finished it off with a little tiny bit of glitter glue. This is Stickles brand glitter glue, the iridescent one that I like to use. It picks up whatever color, you know, you put on it. And that card was done. So that was day 17. I think it's cute. These spontaneous collage cards that are just completely come from nowhere because I don't have a plan. I'm just traveling, so I don't have a plan. Really, I think they turn out fun. So this next one, I think I started with a background. Let me find out here. Oh, I was gonna do the purple, and then I changed my mind. And these backgrounds are ones that have been made, you know, in the past. So I have a few blank cards and I have a few ones that have backgrounds. I decided that I wanted to use that little torn magazine page with the leaf on it, and I thought it went really well with this background. So I figured I would do that. And then I cut out this yoga lady, and I was thinking about on our trip, we stopped at this coffee shop one morning a couple days ago, and it was this really cool a coffee shop that was like, you know, a hipster type place with places to sit down and read and free Wi-Fi and, you know, a cool looking kid being the barista. But there was ladies out in front. The coffee shop was in an old house, like a really old house, and they'd set up the front room as the coffee shop and put a bar across it. And then there were people out front doing yoga, and I thought, wow, if I did yoga, I could maybe have toned arms and everything like this little lady that's obviously doing yoga. So that was just a couple days ago, and I was inspired. You know, you're inspired by what's around or what you see, or, you know, just maybe you watch some videos, or maybe you look at other people's art and get inspired, or maybe you're inspired by the tree outside your window. And in this case, I was inspired by people that I saw doing yoga as I was getting a chai latte at a cute little coffee shop in the middle of nowhere in a very small town. I wouldn't have expected it to be there, and that was cool. I think it was called Source Coffee, like, you know, the source of the coffee. So the other part of that little cardstock thing that I had put on the first one that said ready for takeoff, this was on it as well, and it said sun and fun, and these people were out in the sun doing yoga and obviously having fun and playing some nice music. And so I thought that was the right thing to put on there. Also, it's pink and matches the lady's top, so it was perfect. I also added some tissue paper. This tissue paper has turquoise circles on it, and I have a little scrap of it in my kit. And so I'm still using that decoupage matte medium, the fluid matte medium that I brought along because it was in a small container. To put those down, and I'm using my fingers instead of a brush. Put a couple circles on there. I thought circles seemed like a good thing. And then I went around the outside edge with the black ink, and I'm using my Stabilo All pencil to add a little bit of black into the composition, adding some shadows around those circles and around the person to just blend everything together onto the card. and make it look as if it's all one cohesive composition and not just a bunch of bits and pieces that are glued on. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, please remember to give me a thumbs up. You can leave me a comment or a question below. Subscribe if you haven't already. Turn on your notification bells if you're a subscriber, and that will give you a notification when there's a new video. And of course, you can share this if you want to on Pinterest or something like that. All those things help my channel by letting other people know out there in the world that I'm making content that might be valuable to them. So thanks for that. Bye-bye.